Why, hello there. It is I, your boy H boy, and today I'm going to be talking about something that's been bothering me for years, but for some reason no one really acknowledges. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Most of you probably know Daft Punk. You know Daft Punk. You know the ones with the space helmets. Well, one's a space helmet, the other's a more motorcycle-y helmet, and they're the French dudes, and they do French music in France. And as you know, they split in 2021. The silver guy blew up, and the other guy just lit himself on fire. But which is ironic, because the one that blew up is the one that kept doing stuff, while the other one is actually I don't know what happened to him. I think he's dead. No, he's not. Actually, I doubt he's dead, but I have no idea what happened to him. But that's not what this video is about. I would look it up, but that's not what this video is about. So we'll worry about that later. Anyway, so what I want to talk about is their song naming, because the song naming is kind of inconsistent and it really confuses me. Because as you know, Daft Punk does lots of repetitive songs. I think, for example, let's start with Homework. Homework was probably their most repetitive album. And let's start with their most repetitive song, Around the World. As you can see on Genius lyrics, because for some reason actually bothered just Around the World. Like, around the world, 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 around. Okay, enough of that. You get the point. So it's basically just around the world 144 times. And basically, but the thing is, the song just says around the world, and the song's called Around the World. Makes sense, right? And the reason why I'm singing them instead of playing them well, it's pretty obvious. I don't want to get the good old-fashioned CW copyright. But that's that. Now, the next repetitive song I'm going to be talking about is Inhuman After All. No, not Human After All. Which is the next repetitive one I'm going to... Robot Rock. Now, this one is like Around the World, where it's just repeatedly saying the title over and over again. But unlike Around the World, which is just Around the World, this one says, instead of Robot Rock, it's Rock. Robot Rock. Rock. Robot Rock. You know that one? So it's called Robot Rock, and the song and the lyrics are literally Rock, Robot, Rock. So still normal. And then there's After Robot Rock. What's after Robot Rock? What is after Robot Rock? The next repetitive one is Steam Machine. Doesn't have any lyrics, I don't think. The Brainwasher, where it's like, I am the Brainwasher, in like an aggressive, villainous accent. And let's see what they have to say about it. Inspired by the vocal effect on Black Sabbath Iron Man. Didn't acknowledge that. But it's not as repetitive, only repeating it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. However, it still has the title, but my question is, why is it called The Brainwasher when it would maybe makes more sense being called I Am the Brainwasher? So this is where it starts confusing me. But it still makes sense, but it's kind of confusing. They've added a few words, but it doesn't start really getting confusing until until Discovery. Anyway, so that's, I think, all the repetitive. Oh, and then the most repetitive one in Human After All is, well, it's called what's it called? It's called Emotion, where the lyrics are just simply like, if you go here, let me show you. It's the 10th album on the track. It's the final album on the track. It's my least favorite. It's just simply emotion. Emotion. See, look, emotion over and over. I think this says emotion more times than in Around the World. Like, look at all those emotion. Wait. Yeah, see, emotion. So I think that's all of them. So the only word is emotion. The album's called Emotion. Makes sense. Now, this is where it starts getting confusing. Let's go back to the Homework album for a split second. Let's go to the first long Daft and Direct. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Daft and Direct. But here it says it's come on, defunct, back to the punk. That's literally the only lyrics. You see that? So my question is, why the hell is it? Why on the planet of Earth is it called draft and direct when it should be called come on, defunct, back to the punk? Because it's falling out of pattern, and I don't understand that. It should be called defunct, back to the. Well, maybe just because they already had a song called defunct, but they could have called this defunct, back to the punk. It would have made sense, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. But they didn't do it. Do you want to know why? Because they're idiots. You hear that? So anyway, that's what I have to say to that. And then that's when it starts getting confusing. And other than that, that's the only one in homework that has that. But then when we go to Discovery, let me see if I can find the lyrics for Discovery. Discovery's my favorite one of their albums. Because Discovery's my favorite album out of all of theirs. With my least favorite being, it's a tough one. I didn't really like Random Access Memories. Because they only had 3 songs I liked now. Instant Crush, Get Lucky, and Lose Yourself to Dance. Oh, and Touch, so 4. It was a decent album. But Discovery's my favorite for 2 reasons. One, I loved how they had that little. I liked how if you watched all of the Discovery music videos in order, they tell a story. And I also liked. And I liked watching the Whimsical Machinery and the Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger music video. If you want to see it, go ahead. I'll be here. But I recommend you wait till the video's done before you see that. Anyway, let's go to the lyrics for Superheroes, which is the first and probably only repetitive song on the album. Superheroes. What I don't understand is why is it called Superheroes and not Something's in the Air? Because look, the lyrics are simply only something's in the air, something's in the air. So, like, I don't understand something's in the air unless they mean, because Superman's a superhero and he's in the air, and most superheroes have the ability to fly, so in the air, so something's in the air. At least that's how I interpreted it. Let's see how Genius interprets it, shall we? Let's see, they say, oh, shoot. Okay, let's start. The lyrics are literally about a superhero. In an interview, Thomas Ballinger said a reference to the duo's years growing up in the comics Bronze Age, and while superhero stories are not as popular during this period, the issues comics could tackle Brian says they've been relevancy, such as Thomas and Guy, and many superhero comics of that decade. Okay, I'm confused. In addition, it incorporates Barry Mantles, who's been sleeping in my bed. I'll do the movie context. I've seen the movie online. I wasn't born. I was born 2 years after the album came out, but I was born the same year the movie came out, and I was too young to see the movie. And I don't want to see. However, I did see the movie online, which I kind of regret, because I would want to see it in. I always wanted to see it like in its true form, like in a movie theater or something. However, I know a few movie theaters that occasionally play old anime movies. And the thing is, unless they decide to play it, which they might if Daft Punk have it as like an anniversary thingy, they should. They probably won't, but they should. Especially in IMAX, I would love that. But that's not important. That is not important. What is important, however, is we need to read what the story is. So, okay, movie context. Let's read this. At this point in the movie, Interstellar, the Crescendos are given a concert with an orchestra conducted by the movie's antagonist. However, Shep arrives on stage via jetpack and frees them from their mind control. He's unable to save the Vacious and is crushed due to dark woods blocking his beam path. If this spoils, I'm sorry. You probably weren't planning to watch this anyway. But Darkwood's android bodyguards chase and give him and mortally ruin Shep. However, thanks to an incoming truck, the band makes this escape. The turnstile is able to do both the crescendo blimp pumping up onto the concert and later Shep flying over the concert. Don't know if that was intentional, though. And Shep Shane might consider a superhero-esque action. But if you haven't seen the movie, I really recommend it. Even though I wouldn't call it a movie, it's basically one gigantic music video, but it's still a very good movie. It's a very good movie. I do have to say that it's a very good movie. And its soundtrack is awesome. Better than the Shrek soundtrack. For all Shrek fans, don't get mad at me. I'm just stating a fact. I am just stating a fact. So I think that's it with Daft Punk's repetitive songs. Let me just do a quick look through the rest of Discovery, because I'm not sure. Do I listen to the Discovery album? Discovery album is the only one I've listened to completely fully, because until... Okay, let's see. Oh, and there's also Crescendos, which is also pretty repetitive, which should be called Hey Everybody Y'all, but then again, that's doesn't really make sense. And High Life should be called Beat to Bang, Beat to Bong, but again, it isn't. But that's another good one. Wait. Let me go back to the album. Where's the album? Where's the album? Wait, no, not this one. Where's the album? Okay, Around the World, we already did that one. Here we go. Superheroes. Let's see what they have to say. Okay, let's start with One More Time, you know that one. Aerodynamic, I think, is instrumental. Digital Love, well, Digital Love has lyrics, but you all know the lyrics of that one. Last night, I had a dream about you. And then Harder, Better, Fast, Stronger makes sense. Crescendos does have lyrics. Yeah, Hey Everybody, I'll Woo, which is basically it. And Look Out. And it's probably my favorite Daft Punk song, Crescendos. Crescendos? Crescendos? Is it Crescendos or Crescendos? I think it's Crescendo. Crescendo or Crescendol? I actually don't know. In fact, I'm gonna look that up. Crescendol pronunciation. Wait, no, not crescendum, crescendol. Wait, how do you spell crescendol? How do you spell crescendol? I don't need to show you this on the screen because it's not important, but I'm gonna just look it up anyway. Crescendols? I think it's crescendols. Crescendos. It's a pun on crescendo. So crescendol is a pun on crescendo. Okay, it's crescendol pronunciation. Let's see, crescendol. I think it's. No, I don't care. I don't want to see the movie. I just want to see. Okay.
Crescendo.
Crescendo. So according to the Genius lyrics, see how it says crescendo is a parody of crescendo. So I think it's crescendo would make sense. Wouldn't that make sense? That would totally make sense, wouldn't it? Do you think that would make sense? Yep. Even she thinks it makes sense. So that's what I have to say about that. And I think that's all I have to say about all the Daft Punk names. And hopefully you enjoyed this video. And if you liked it, I will see you next time. And if you didn't like it, then, well,